tweets, listening to my last session and then telling me it was crisp, lucid, was useful and all that. Talking about social media, it gives me great pleasure to tell you, immediately I receive tweets from people who have been watching online. Thank you very much for that. And this topic, this session, is the topic that changed my life. I would tell you that there have been two things that have changed my life of my 22 years of my career, the way in which I function, the way in which I live. It's not about those soft skills that you have been listening to all, but it's a technology. That's what have changed. And even before going into this session, Prakash told me that I got 2 minutes extra. So let me tell you, if you ask me, what is the next 5-10 years, what you should concentrate on in terms of brand, in terms of corporate world, in terms of business? What is that one thing that I will concentrate on in the next 5 to 10 years and bet my life is today called social business. You might go and Google this term or search this term and you would find a lot of new information, and that's the main thing today. What is social business is, you know what is mobile? Everything is moving to mobile. Now we will see what is cloud computing. We spoke in the last 2 sessions about social media, and there is one more thing called big data. The convergence of all these 4 and business is going to be social business, to simply put it. And traditionalists is going to find it difficult how business will shape with the convergence of these 4 things. So coming back to this session, we spoke about social media in the last 2 sessions. That is one part of social business. Another part of social business is cloud computing. Now we will understand the basics of cloud computing. One thing I want to say right up front is, I'm not a technologist. I'm not a techie guy. I'm a user. So this session would be cloud computing from a user perspective. How has it changed my life? What has it contributed to me and my business? That's why I have turned the session as cloud computing and you. So the plan of this talk, next 30 minutes, would be this. I'll introduce you to the concept, and then we also step back and see how do we use computing devices today, and then what is cloud computing all about, and then how can it make your life better. I will tell you how it made my life better also, and what are the current status of cloud computing, and what are the future promises it holds, and then probably we will conclude how cloud computing is going to be a vital part of the future. Now let's say that, can you imagine an individual or a SME or an enterprise without computers? I don't know if you have, I am sure you have not been a part of. We have been a part of where there was no mobile, there was no computer, it was all on paper. Now people can't even think of it. So, and also, but in the next slides that you would see, you have been part of how we use computing devices today. We are still very, very old fashioned. You take a newspaper and see the advertisement. We still see advertisements of hardwares, powerful laptops, and the combo offers that comes with it. Hence, I would say we are highly old fashioned. We are still very, very old fashioned. Now today, people buy powerful, expensive laptops and desktops and really bloated software. Whenever I say that people buy expensive Office package, Microsoft Office, and if you take that away from them, they don't know how to work with the computer. In many of the cases, they don't know how to create a Word document without their Microsoft Office, or make a presentation without that. So they buy bloated software. Some people might say, no, it comes cheap. It comes cheap because of pirated. And let me tell you, any security professional of IT will warn you that you have more risk buying a pirated software because you are vulnerable to attacks. So when you look at the originals, they are expensive and they are bloated because of revisions, other things that we will see. And also we buy applications which are device dependent. Suppose I buy Microsoft Office, let's say, and then create a Word document and store it in my laptop. Now I have come here and let's say I don't have my laptop. What do? I am device dependent. Unless you give me my laptop, I cannot do anything. And then data in silos. People say, no, whenever I say, what if your computer crashes? They immediately say, no, I have backed it up in my USB, I have done it in a CD and all that. Okay, you are in a customer place, let's say. Your data is in your USB or your CD or whatever it is. And there is a good deal that you want to close the sale. And there is one information that you have got to check. How will you check? Now, if this has happened 3 years before, let's say there is a product you are selling, there is an invoice, you just want to know the pricing of the last pricing, and it was 3 years before, let's say. And then now you don't know which backup CD, which backup hardware, you have that information and you don't have access. So data like that in silos is not going to give you business, is not going to help you move forward. And then very little knowledge or business intelligence got from it. Suppose I have all the, I always say, love to say this word, there is something called institutional memory. An institution, when they grow 10, 15, 20 years, they have a lot of situations that they have dealt with. They have lot of information that can be reused. There is a lot of wealth of data that is available, but is it accessible? That is what one has to ask. And even if you have to make it accessible, see the systems that you should have. So I don't think in today's world we use our business intelligence. And most, you leave all that, even at a personal level. I always say, if I meet a person once and I have his data, and if I can check it like this, I think I'll be very, very powerful. I'll be very, very wealthy. Because most of the times, 2 years back, I have met that person, we have had some interaction, we exchanged some emails, but I have completely forgotten and I have no way to get that out like this. So I don't gain anything from data that I create. That's my contention. Today, we don't gain anything from the data that we create. And then we underutilize broadband. I have a powerful broadband connection. What do I use? I surf, I chat, I see some videos, news. What else do I do? Do I work only with that? We don't. I would say we are using 30% of our broadband potential. And mobile phones are productivity killers. The mobile phones that we have, we use it for talking. Talking and talking and talking. Talking. See, suppose somebody you call, you just want one information, you can't straight get to the point. You got to ask him, how are you, this, that, probably the subject moves on. And you wanted a small information and you have spent half an hour. So I always say, mobile phones, if used, how we use it, are productivity killers. So, okay, all these problems have been there. So, what do we do about it? Luckily, I'll tell you, that's why I say it has changed my life. So, all these have been there, but how do we take care of it? Enters cloud computing. I have to say that there was a gentleman in Sun Microsystems and who dreamt about what is today's cloud computing. He dreamt where network will act as a computer. That was his dream. That time, no, people didn't understand what he said, and today's cloud computing is very close to that dream concept. And what is cloud computing? In cloud computing, you don't need powerful hardwares. You don't need many of the things today that you use. How? We will see that. In cloud computing, network is a computer. See, I'll tell you to easily understand. If you look at most of us would not have seen that because we all grew with grid and electricity. in the past, if a company wants electricity or power, they have to put up their power plant and then draw power from there. Then came the grid system. So now you use it, you just switch on, switch off, you don't know who produces this, how it is distributed, nothing you know. You take a connection and you have this, switch on, switch off, pay for what you use. Exactly, that is what is cloud computing all about. Hello, are you able to hear? Yeah. So cloud computing is about network as a computer. I was talking about electricity. So the moment you see, you open a tap, you get water. What if you get your computing resources like that? That is exactly what cloud computing is all about. And then raw computing resources from the cloud. You can scale up, scale down, switch on, switch off, and your data and applications are in the cloud. A lot of people, if you are not used to the jargon, don't understand what is a data or what is an application. So I would say that if you buy Microsoft Office and put it inside your computer, desktop or laptop, that is application. Microsoft Office is an application, and you create a Word document or an Excel document or a PowerPoint or whatever you create with it is data. Now both data and application will be in the cloud. The classic example is the email you use, Gmail. You don't download anything, you have not put anything inside your computer. You have an internet connection, you open your email, and what you have created inside your email, sent, inbox, and all that is your data. So both data and applications are on the cloud. The simplest example is the email example, but almost you can do anything with your data and application. All kinds of applications today are available on the cloud. And then on-demand availability. As I said, when you want, you open your email, you close it, and it is not device dependent. You can use my laptop, an internet cafe's desktop, or your mobile phone. From almost any device where you have an internet connection, you can use it. So it's on demand and location and device independent. So I don't need to be at a single place at my office to access that. For example, I would say some enterprise applications, you can have access only when you are inside your premises, and that becomes location dependent. And if you use only your laptop, your desktop, then it becomes device dependent. Then now cloud relieves you of both location and device independent. Just look at it. So if that is going to be a technology where the computing resources come over an internet and data and applications on the cloud, and I can access it from anywhere, anytime without depending on anything, that's wonderful. That can change how you function. It can change your life. What are the different types of cloud computing? Here, when you listen to cloud computing topics from technologists, you will keep hearing SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, all that. It's nothing but infrastructure as a service. If somebody is giving you storage, it's called infrastructure. So I always say that I have a friend who is a designer, and if he has to undertake large projects, that means he has to handle large amounts of data. So suppose he goes and pitches with a client that he wants to take that project. So he has to handle 1 TB of data. Now he has to buy all those hardwares that is required for that, and he has to put all the infrastructure. Today he need not do that. He can just take out 1 TB of data storage space and use it, and then when he is finished with the project, he can just close it. That's how it is. Some of the examples, companies which are in this space, Amazon and GoGrid. And platform as a service, this is for developers who develop applications, and this is the most famous part of the cloud computing, the SaaS model, software as a service. As I said, the Microsoft, even I think Microsoft has a model of SaaS now, or most of the applications. See, I'll tell you, you are working in a company which has 2,000 employees, let's say 2,000 sales guys who are go out to the market. Such a company can buy a powerful software and allow all the features to be used by their salespeople. Now, I have a small company, I have 2 salespeople. Can I invest and buy that software? I cannot. So what do I do? In this model, in SaaS model, it is subscription based. You don't buy any software. No software buying, no installation. You just log on to the internet, get onto the cloud, there the software application resides, and you just use it. And a guy who uses with 2 users will pay for 2 users, and a person or an enterprise which uses with 2,000 users will pay for 2,000 users. So the advantages of SaaS here is, when there is an update, it is automatic. When there is a new feature, it is automatic. So a company with 2,000 sales force and a company with 2 people in their sales team are equated now. They have the same resources in this model because it's a subscription model. Now, how cloud computing can help you as a person and as a business or as a corporate? I'd say drastic reduction in hardware, because we don't buy hardwares. We no more powerful, no more storage devices, no more powerful laptops. So hardware, and we don't buy any software. No buying software is cloud computing's biggest advantage. You don't buy any kind of software, and low total cost of ownership, and also a high ROI, because your capital expenditure is very, very low, and at a fraction of the cost that you would spend for software, you get your subscriptions. These are the 2 key learnings that you have to start with in cloud computing. And then it gives you location, device independence, and also data wherever you go. As I said, I'm in a customer's place. He's asking me for one detail, and I know it's somewhere there in my data. So you have a cloud storage, and you just go there and check your files, and you can get it. See, I'll tell you, there are 2 places where I have found this very, very useful in my own life. One is when I deal with payments. Most of the time when I'm inside a company, they are ready to release the payment, but they want some invoice number, some bank detail or something like that. Thanks to clouds, then and there, from my whatever instrument I'm using, I'm able to plug out that information, give it to him, he releases my payment. Maybe it would have taken another 2-3 weeks if I have to tell him, I'll go back to my office, check and give you by the time he has allocated that money to somebody else. This is one. Second thing is, especially selling. You need to know a lot of details, so you can use cloud computing to collaborate or to check your own things and then close the deal. Of course, in a place like this, power supply, which is a huge issue, I'm working on a project and power goes, all that, I can just walk across the street, go to an internet cafe or go to the next neighborhood, start from where I left. Wherever I left, I can just start off, because I just have to close this browser and open that browser. Everything is with me. I don't need to even take my laptop. I don't need to take my data. I don't need to take my hardware there. Nothing. Everything is in the cloud. Just go there, switch on with your internet connection, and you can work as if you have never left anywhere. And easy collaboration. See, for example, I'll tell you, there is a factory in one place like Sriperumbudur, and they have an office in Chennai, and they have their head office in Bombay, and they have customers, global offices, one in Middle East, one in elsewhere. So all these guys, if you look at traditionally how they have been working, is horrible, just horrible for me. So how do they collaborate today? They just make a page, let's say, and in real time, everybody can edit it, everybody can post it, and if somebody wants to know some information, they just have to open this page. See how collaboration would be if it is done. There are no revisions, there are no various naming the files and all that. So if you use such collaboration, the whole email chunk that you create gets down, and also as an attachment when you send, you don't know which is the right attachment and all that. I find extremely productive, and your whole time, I would say after using cloud computing, what I was doing in a day, at least 4-5 hours got relieved from that. No, I got extra 4-5 hours to do my work, and I took more into my life thanks to cloud computing. And then global level scaling. Again, I said, see, whether you use 2 units of electricity or 200 units of electricity, they keep producing, they allow you to use. So you don't need to plan for it. So you can just scale up with cloud, and complete peace of mind. I'll tell you, the peace of mind I have had, not misplacing my data or worrying about how will I access it, is completely gone. The result is I do much better business at a lower cost. So current status and future promises. Cloud is still at its infancy, but I should not be saying that because it has moved in great strides. 5 years back, I would have said it's at infancy. We can still say that, looking at the potential and looking at what is possible with cloud computing, and hence some of the applications are still in beta-ish nature. And then lack of integration. Suppose people always ask me inside an enterprise, we are using these applications. Do you mean to say I shut down everything and then start off? No, it is not like that. You can integrate all the applications with the new cloud computing models, but some of the applications may not have that integration. That's why we stay still, it's a long way to go. And the lack of open standards, some of them, I think this will come in time. And lack of SLA from vendors. So people always ask me, okay, I go to the cloud computing model, they have this and all that. What about downtime? What about this? Cloud vendors have SLA, service level agreements, which you can go through, be sure, and then I would say the uptime or the downtime is very less, and the uptime is much better than traditionally what you were using or what you are used to. And ubiquitous internet access, that is one thing you have to be there. Somebody asked me, okay, wherever I go, I don't have internet access. Actually, you should not be saying that, because even wherever you go, even if it's your office, if there is no internet access, I think you just have to declare a holiday today in the business. At least here, you can go to a place where there is an internet access and you can function as if you never left your office. And future promises are, these applications are getting matured and more people are taking care of it. Vendors are starting to integrate third-party applications. See, suppose you have to use my application and you are already using some applications. Now I understand that has to go with your workflow so that you would use me. So they are integrating with various applications. And open standards, there's always a promotion to be to have open standards. And again, SLAs you would find in most of the place vendors have for paid users. See, this model of freemium is very famous with cloud. They allow you to use free for maybe 3 or 4 accounts, but when you want 40 accounts, maybe you will become a paid user. But they take care, and then they give you a very good customer support when it comes to paid customers as SLAs. And ISPs, government, all these would be future promises. So in conclusion, I would say cloud computing again changes the way you function with your business, and hence the way in which you lead your life, and increases productivity manifold. As I just told you, it at least frees up all my time. I never have to search, I never have to look forward, I am never tied to my desk. That is great productivity. I was talking to Mr. Prakash, I was checking, then and there I reply. Most of the data I need is available in my palm. And the beauty is you can use it with any device connected to internet, not necessarily your computer. And so how does this change the business shape? I'll tell you again a personal example. In due course, what happened is, because I have the data and access to it, whenever a customer asks me, I reply him immediately. Over a period of time, what happened is, my customer have started giving me the first choice of refusal. I'll tell you, if you are a marketing guy, you spend years and years to achieve this position of the first choice of refusal. And today I have this thanks to cloud computing. They know that I'm going to answer immediately, so the first choice of answering comes to me, and hence there's a great conversion to business. So productivity, efficiency wise, I think there's nothing to beat unless you adopt. Offers competitive advantage. Now, as I say, they send the same question to 5 people, 5 business consultants, and I answer immediately. I get a competitive over. The other guy is traveling and he thinks, okay, my data is in my computer, maybe I'll reach office tomorrow, I will dig it out and send it to him. I get a huge competitive advantage in such a scenario. And then it offers, as I said, lower total cost of ownership because you are not investing on hardware and software in a big way, and higher return on investments because of timely action, because of collaboration, because of lesser capital expenditure, but you need help. You need to know which applications, how you use it, and you've got to train people. I'll tell you, today I think most of the IT companies are out of city, and it takes 2 to 3 hours in this traffic to go. And more companies are allowing you to log in and work because they want the 3-hour productivity. They don't take pride that you travel 3 plus 3, 6 hours in a day by bus. So what I'm saying is, if you learn cloud computing from a user perspective and then use it, you would find that it drastically changes your business. Hence, people always complain that they don't have no time, family time, personal time, or time to improve their business, time to do other things. Get on to cloud computing and you see. I don't want to put a number, but I would say 50% of my time got released thanks to cloud computing, because the repetitive things that I was doing in terms of searching, in terms of looking for collaboration, in terms of what I was doing, I could do with a complete peace of mind, which money cannot buy. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for all those watching. Thanks Hoogly for a nice webcast, and thank one and all. And I also have to say that being a Friday night last night and this morning, my kids also have watched and have said, and have done a good job. I think I take that. So thank you, kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Varadh Krishnamurthy.